I was attending a conference in Tehran in Iran in September, last September. Conference of independent thinkers. And I had a dream while sleeping. And the dream was repeated twice in the same night. I normally don't reveal my dreams in public. No. But this one I said, no, I have to reveal it to the people. I saw nuclear war. I saw nuclear missiles being shot into the sky. Nuclear war. And I saw that Pakistan was a part of the war. When I woke up from my sleep, I then remembered that 2 years prior to 9/11, I had a dream. I was Imam at Masjid Al-Quran in Long Island. And in that dream I saw balls of fire coming down from the sky on Manhattan skyscrapers. And these balls of fire were jumping from one building to another, jumping and then jumping out of Manhattan and spreading all over the world. The next Jummah that came, I gave a khutbah, and in that khutbah I mentioned this dream. I mentioned it in the khutbah. 2 years later, 9/11, and I immediately recognized this is a dream I saw. So since there was an interval of 2 years between the dream and 9/11, I came to the conclusion, you don't have to accept my conclusion, that we have a period of about 2 years from September last, before the nuclear war comes. I was thinking that perhaps we still have another 5 to 10 years before the nuclear war takes place. When I went to Iran to a conference in September, and I normally do not reveal my dreams. No, I don't do that. But on this occasion I broke the rules and I said, no, I have to reveal this dream. I had the dream twice on the same night during the conference. I saw nuclear war, and I saw the nuclear missiles being shot into the sky, and I saw that Pakistan was a part of the nuclear war. Obviously that has to take place. Once nuclear war takes place, Pakistan has to be attacked, because they cannot allow Pakistan to remain as a nuclear power, not at all. When I had that dream and I woke up, I came to the conclusion that because of a previous dream that I had 2 years before 9/11, and 2 years later 9/11 took place, I said to myself, well, if history is to repeat itself, the implication is that Allah has sent this dream to me, giving us the same 2 years' time. If the Malhama is to take place in another 2 years, what do we do? And number one, get out of the cities. Head for your kampung. Head for the kampung. Number two, stay away from big communities, go to small ones, small villages. Number three, stock up on food. Number four, stock up on water. Number three is food. Number four, water. Number five, life and death is in Allah's hands. And when Allah chooses death, the servant of Allah accepts death. Only Allah will know who will live and who will die. But if you live after the Malhama, you've got to be prepared. After the Malhama, the big cities are going to be the worst place in the world to live. Why? A city of 20 million people cannot feed itself. It gets its food from outside. It gets its water supply from outside. Like Karachi. And when the Malhama takes place, the supply lines will be disrupted. When no food is coming and no water is coming, you're going to have riots. It will be dog eat dog. People will be breaking down the doors of your home and coming into your home to steal your food and your water. Nowhere can you hide it. So if you live in the cities, it's going to be anarchy. It's going to be hell in the cities. And on that day when hell breaks out in the towns and cities, on that day when all hell breaks out in the towns and cities, then you will remember Suratul Isra, where Allah says, وَإِن مِّن قَرْيَةٍ إِلَّا نَحْنُ مُهْلِكُوهَا قَبْلَ يَوْمِ الْقِيَامَةِ أَوْ مُعَذِّبُوهَا عَذَابًا شَدِيدًا كَانَ ذَلِكَ فِي الْكِتَابِ مَسْطُورًا. And not a single town and city will escape. We'll destroy them all. And those which are not destroyed will be punished with terrible, terrible punishment. And this is something inscribed in the book. So when the Malhama takes place, wait to see what's going to happen in the big cities and towns. So safety lies in getting out, withdrawing, going to the remote countryside and stocking up on food and on water.
What is the future of Islam in Europe?
There will be no Europe tomorrow. There will be no North America tomorrow. I think after nuclear war, Europe and North America would not be a place where it is habitable, okay? So the future is one in which sensible people should be making hijrah, migrating out of North America or migrating out of Europe. If you cannot migrate out of the country, out of that region, you should at least leave the cities and go to the remote countryside. There is a verse of the Quran in Suratul Isra in which Allah has spoken of the destruction of every town and city. I am beginning to reassess my understanding of the verse, that perhaps the Quran is not speaking about every single city in the world, but rather every single city which by divine guidance ought to be destroyed, like one which permits the marriage of a man with another man, you're supposed to be destroyed. So get out of the cities, such cities, where you see the legal permission for a man to marry another man, because destruction is coming, and go to the remote countryside. The Quran says those cities which are not destroyed will be punished with terrible punishment. The punishment would be that nuclear war will disrupt supply of food, supply of water. People will be starving, no water. There'll be riots. There'll be dog eat dog. And so the message that we send, while others are busy eating McDonald's hamburgers, our message is, we have a little time left. My feeling, and I hope I'm wrong, I hope I'm wrong, Daniel, I don't think we have more than 1 year left before nuclear war. Let me say it one more time, I hope and I pray I'm wrong. But if it is to come because of dreams which I have had, then you have a little time left. Get out of the cities, because even if you are not destroyed in the nuclear war, there'll be no food, there'll be no water. And you will be responsible for the suffering of your wife and your children at that time. So go to the remote countryside and go to places where you can produce your own food and where there's a supply of water. That's the future for Europe, whether you're Muslim or you're not.